In Luke chapter 15, there's a story about this man that went to his father, and instead of waiting for his father's inheritance to come the right way after his father passes, he tells his father that he wants it right now. His father said yes. He gave him all the money, and he decided to move away, and it says in the Bible that he just squandered the whole thing. He lost all of the money. He spent everything. And basically, when he was out of money, he decided that he was going to go work for this farmer to try to make enough money for food. It said right when he ran out of money, there was a great famine in the land, and when he went to go make money, he actually still didn't even have enough money for food or anything, and he ended up working for a farmer, and it says that he was so hungry even the pig slop sounded good to him. After he's been working with the pigs and with these animals on the farm, he realized that back at home, back with his family, back with his father, he could work for a slave and still get more money and still live a better life than he's living right now. So it says in the Bible that he comes up with this big speech, and he comes up with this whole plan to talk to his father and convince him to let him live with him as a slave. And he goes back to his father's house, and when he goes there, it says on his way out, his father sees him and runs to him with open arms and hugs him and gives him a family ring and gives him everything that he actually had before as a son. And it says that he starts his speech, and his father just interrupts him and welcomes him back home. He actually throws a party and kills the biggest, fattest calf that they have so that they can throw a feast for him. This video that you're looking at was my house when I was growing up, pretty much all the way through elementary school and middle school. And this was my house. I helped to build those steps. My uncle mostly built them, but I helped a little bit. I remember hiding in this tree with a BB gun, and I shot some random neighbor trying to pretend to be a Navy SEAL. He didn't care, he just kept on walking. It was great. I ran through these trails as a kid growing up, and I used to go swimming at this pool all the time, and I remember having my very first cell phone and trying to make a call to my mom to pick me up from the pool so I didn't have to walk home. This is the road that my uncle took his truck up, and I was in him one time he did it, and I freaked out completely. He used to just go all the way up and around it, and he did it multiple times. It was awesome. And this tree right here, this tree is the tree that, well, let me tell you the story. It was Christmas time, and for Christmas, my brother, one of our good friends, Brett, and I, we all got paintball guns that year for Christmas, and we had to go test them out in the trails. So we went all the way through these trails, and we ended up here at this tree. At the time, this tree had a huge bee's nest in it, and my friend Brett decided that it would be a good idea to kill all the bees inside the bee's nest with our paintball guns. While Scott and I were trying to talk him out of it, he ended up just shooting the tree with the paintball gun anyway. And this tree is like 2 miles away from our house. I remember we were running all the way home 2 miles, and I was a chubby kid, I couldn't run. And we ran all the way home 2 miles and being chased by these bees that kept biting us. They didn't sting us, they just kept biting us. It was so annoying, and it was so painful, and it was so stupid, but we had paintball guns and we were trying to shoot the air. We were trying to swat the bees away with our hands, and the bees just kept coming at us. And so when we got back in the house, I yelled at my mom and I said, "Mom, don't open any of the doors. Don't even look outside. Make sure all the windows, don't open anything." And because I was like, there's tons of bees outside. They chased us all the way for like 2 miles. And my mom kind of laughed it off because she knew that we were inside. She knew that all the windows were shut because the AC was on. And she knew that when we were inside the house, even if there were tons of bees outside, that we were safe in there. I don't know about you guys, but the past week for me has been crazy. It, just like life at work, just over and over, things have been just stupid little things that have just been kind of like pecking at me. Kind of like those bees, like literally just like, oh my gosh, it's just, has it been the same for you guys? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I love this story about the prodigal son because it shows us that even when we have hard times, the best thing to do is just to go home. When you're home, you always have this sense of safety, this sense of security, this sense of rejuvenation, this sense of family. This guy made one of the worst decisions of his life. He got all of his inheritance and he just spent the entire thing partying. He was in the worst spot of his life, feeding pigs and the pig slop looking good, and he decided the best thing to do is just to go home. When I hear this story about the prodigal son, I keep thinking about this verse in Matthew chapter 11. It's verse 30. It's in red letters, so we know that Jesus is talking. It says that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And it's every time I hear that verse, I just want to keep saying it. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. My work week again has been just absolutely nuts. But one thing that I keep thinking of is my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I think that with this story and with this place and this thought of home is, instead of making home a physical place in our lives, I think that the best way to live is to make this your home, is to make God's word your home. And really, I think if we can make God's word our home, if we can just dig into God's word daily and just make sure that we're still in it and make sure that we read it, this is what's going to bring us safety. This is what's going to bring us security. This is what's going to bring us peace and rejuvenation. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.